Welcome to the bottom of it with your host Josh Moriarty.
Hey ho, how you doing? Josh here from the bottom of it. But you know that because you clicked on it and you saw all the pictures and it told you that already in the intro, and now I'm just really talking about myself and saying my own name far too much because I probably love it. But I actually don't think I do. I'm not that self-obsessed, probably just as much as the normal person, but not as much as someone like Taylor Swift, who fucking absolutely terrifies me to death, and she's probably going to destroy and murder the whole world soon. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Today's episode is with Cleopold, G-Man, Geordie Hewitt. He's a very, very good friend of ours, of mine. I've known him for quite a long time now. Met him back in Melbourne. He's a fellow Australian. Well, I'm a New Zealander. He's an Australian, but I'm kind of an honorary Australian, I guess I'd call myself these days. So I met him when he was playing guitar for a bunch of other people. He was just starting to get Cleopold together, starting to put his idea of his own project in mind. He was working on a whole bunch of songs. He moved to LA and was living with the other guys in the Miami Horror house that we have here. And finally, I don't know, not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago, got it happening, decided on a name. Now Cleopold is in full existence doing its thing, and we're all very, very proud of him. He's writing great songs, he's making really great art, and it's early days for him, but so far so good. He's doing some great supports and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, here's a chat with the G-Man, with Cleopold. We covered collaboration, touring with Miami Horror when he's played with us, who he's looking to work with, all sorts of things like that. Here you go, enjoy Cleopold. G-Man, Cleopold.
Josh, how are you?
What were the names before you had Cleopold?
Oh, I had a bunch of pretty rough ideas.
We had Harmony G.
Harmony G.
George of the Jingle.
George of the Jingle.
I think that was probably my favourite.
There was like kibosh as well.
That got kibosh pretty quickly though, didn't it?
The joke to put the kibosh on, as in get out the record and put it on. Anyway.
So what, your EP's... This EP's been coming for a long time.
Well, it took a long time to figure out exactly how to find my voice, I guess, because I was singing on a lot of stuff, but my earlier demos a few years ago were pretty poppy, and I wasn't even very sure what I was doing, so I'd be belting out vocals and singing in ways that I listen back now and think, oh, it's awful, and not to say now that I'm better, but it's come a long way. So
it has come a long way.
Finding a starting point helped shape the EP. So from then, yeah, it's been like, I don't know, 5 years in the works.
I feel like it's even been long. How long have we been friends for? Since I met you?
Yeah,
longer than
7
that,
or
even.
8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the EP wasn't the vision from the start. I've got a lot of songs. I've written a lot of different tracks, different styles and stuff. So yeah, it's coming to life, I guess.
You never had a band that was just your thing before, I guess, right? So what, you started off playing kind of shredding metal?
Yeah, I was, in high school I used to play in a lot of sort of jammy bands and play like grunge music, and I had a phase when I was really into Kiss and Pantera and bands like that, and I was really sucked into like going to the big arena shows and being at the front row and feeding off the energy and all that just the vibe that those bands would offer. So that really shaped my musical taste at the time. That was probably when I was 14, 15, 16, and then I joined this like rock band, and that was like my be all and end all, like passion project that nothing could go wrong. Like we were going to get we had the vision to get the big record deal and heaps of cash and private jets and all this shit that's just not even a reality.
How old at that point? What, 18, 19,
yeah,
something like that? Everyone at that age has that ambition with their bands and their friends in that band. It's always going to be the biggest, best.
But I was like just sure of myself.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're adamant. Like,
so
this
wrong.
This can't fail. We've got to do it, fellas.
And then I got kicked out of the band because I, was an arrogant, like, sort of know-it-all, who didn't really know anything, because I'd never really been in a band like that before. So it was weird, but I was like heartbroken.
Yeah.
Felt like breaking up with 4 girlfriends at once.
That's what's going on.
A career sort of like the idea of a cool career just flipped upside down. But then it was probably the best thing that happened, because it really put things into perspective and made me realize how far-fetched that dream is. It's like so stupid anyway to be doing music to be like a rock star kind of.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if that's always what you think as a kid, but it's...
Exactly. So I was, I guess, younger. But now, as I get older, well, not even older, but just the more music that I do and am involved with, I start to realize that, I'm doing it for myself. And, if it relates, if anyone sort of likes it, that's, job done, it's cool.
Why this particular sound of all things, if you've come from doing metal and...
Well, I was playing guitar in all of those bands, so I was just a guitarist. But I wrote the songs, as in I wrote the melodies and the riffs, and was really involved with that in the group process. But that's also where I think I clashed most with others, is because I was very cocky and confident that I thought my ideas were better than the next person's. Like, my idea is always the right one, and that's not the case. But with this stuff that I've been working on recently, it's kind of exciting because it feels more like me, and it's more my personality, and I sing exactly how I want to sing, and I sound how I want to sound, and write lyrics about things that I want to write about. And I guess, that being said, I collaborate with 2 producers, Jack and Chris, and they're
from the Bag Raiders.
From the Bag Raiders, and they really, like, I couldn't have done any of it without them, really, because they took my demos and sort of sifted through them and picked a couple, and and then together we sort of shaped it into a finished product.
Yeah.
So I had a hard time sort of getting it off the ground, finishing things.
Yeah.
But I was constantly trying to make something that was right, or felt right, but I couldn't get it to sound right. And I think
that's very, very difficult if you're not
in the production.
Yeah, you need those guys to do it. Well, how did it come about with those guys? How did you meet them?
I met them in LA at a house party, and I met Jack, and then I think I was like, because I'm a pretty big fan and was at the time especially, and I didn't know him, and I was saying, I'm a songwriter, Oh, and I'd moved to LA to write songs for other artists and myself, but so I was sort of pitching to them to help them with top lines, because I wanted to get involved in that world. And I was like, if there's anything I can do to help, like singing, I'd love to, put some ideas down on some of your beats or whatever. And they were kind of like, oh yeah, cool, sure, like being polite and nice, because they are. But yeah, we got to know each other, and then I think I spent a month working on one of their songs that didn't get,
For their album?
Yeah, I mean, that was the dream at the time for me. I was like, oh, it would be so good to sing on a Bag Raiders track. Like, it'd be so fun. They're so good. And it didn't, they write their own songs, and my idea was like, cool, but it wasn't the right idea, and that's fair enough. But anyway, that sort of bridged the relationship, and then we started, I sort of was showing him my demos, and I was like, do you have any feedback on this song that I've written? And I think Jack, just because he's a good guy, was interested in helping me get something going. So that's where it started, and since then we've written, they did the whole EP with me at their studio, and I did the singing sort of at home, demos, and I'd sort of take an idea to them, and we'd pull it together, and they'd finish it off and rebuild the beat to make it modern and
have they been
current.
The best guys that you've worked? I mean, you've worked with some other people, I guess, as well. Is it just the best fit with those guys?
Well, we just really get along, and it's easy, and I really value and respect their opinion, and it's just sort of when it makes it easy when I've got someone who I really have faith, like that I trust. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
If they say like, "Oh, that doesn't sound right," or like, "No, this is bad," then it's the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
And that, I think, you know, if it was the 18-year-old me that I was talking about before, I would have had a meltdown like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, I'm right." But they've had success, and they've got great tracks to show that I've spent a lot of time listening to, and yeah, I basically just feel like you got to have a couple of people involved in whatever it is that you're doing in order to bounce ideas and like get the feedback that you want to make the best product.
Yeah, I think it's nice also after that as well, though, to remove the diplomacy from the artistic direction of the project. So you can pick the way you want your photos and your videos and all of those things, but it's nice having someone help you with the production. But then, yeah.
Definitely, and it's not only helping with production, like they're really involved in the writing part too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time the production shapes the writing, and you know the vocals change at the end. And
But all the artistic stuff is all you, all the photos and the...
yeah, like
I mean, I guess it's still early days, but everything I've seen, it's
Yeah.
looking sharp and tidy. It's got a good direction.
Well, yeah, I think it's really important to not let anything get in the way of what you got to remember that. Well, I have to remind myself that it's, you know, my voice and my songs, and I want to sing them how I want to sing them, and the artwork needs to complement the music. So I've, I guess, been like in charge of, you know, I mean, it's a funny thing though, like looking at yourself and judging yourself. Like I don't feel like I'm very good at that. So I'm very like picky about, you know, how I look and that. But that was as I get further down the track, like I start, you know, to care less and stuff. It just becomes easier. But the early days, like a year ago, when I first had like my photo done, and I was like, I need a press photo or whatever. Yeah, it's like just difficult to look at a photo of my face and think, he's cool. Like it just,
I know what you
can't
mean.
tell the expression I'm pulling on my face, like trying to be sexy and appealing or whatever, and it's just not like.
I guess at some point you've sort of just got to get on with it a little bit, don't you? And let it go, or just realize that you are what you are and try and do the best with it. But
well, I'm still trying to figure that out. But,
yeah.
You know, it's cool. Like, I love doing it, and it's cool to have, like I said, a couple of opinions around to run things by. And
do you have any favorite artists or people that have inspired you over the years? I've never really known you to have someone that you love the most. Like, I had years when I was obsessed with Prince, and that was quite a long time ago now, but he was my guy. Do you have someone like that? I know you like Sebastian Tellier a little bit, but
that was for a while. I mean, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. He really that was the last band that I really was obsessed with before I sort of, I don't know, got not lost interest in going to the gigs and being front row and all that stuff. But yeah, I think I met him in an airport once, and I said hi. I was like, oh,
you've always been good at that.
Yeah, I just said hello, but he was such a cool guy, and he was just having asked me about my music and stuff, and I was just blown away. And then afterwards, when I was on the plane, I was like, oh, it's so cool. He's just like a dude. And then from that point, that was 3 years, 4 or 5 years, I don't know, ages ago. And it just all of a sudden I haven't had those idols anymore.
I think that happens as you get older. They sort of...
I think they get replaced by your friends, you know what I mean? All of a sudden that oh, what would so-and-so do? All of a sudden it's looking to guys like Jack and, my close friends who's, it's just, it's more personal. But yeah, idols, not really. I mean, I don't know, probably this. I love like Sia and her music and what she does and everything that she does. And I really like Adele at the moment. Just, I just like listening to pop music, and it's easy to listen to, But then at the same time, I like listening to, I've been listening to, at Coachella, I saw this dude No Sarge thing, and I hadn't heard his music before, but it was like awesome, and it's just the whole visual and sounds combined in the festival venue. Everything like blew me away. And
is that something you're looking to develop further as the years go by? Is it going to end up like Kiss? Is there going to be explosions, or is there kind of an end goal for it? Or
I think putting the first song out was the goal.
Yeah.
Releasing something was the goal. And in the lead up to its release, while it was getting mixed and stuff, I think it took about 6 months for it to get mixed and mastered. And I was getting like serious anxiety. I got on a plane and I was like, I'm going to die. Like, the song's never going to come out. It was pretty fucked up, because I thought, I was just like catastrophizing and thinking, the worst thing.
What was the worst thing that could happen, and doesn't even...
I don't know.
It's ignored.
It's just because I felt like I'd put so much time and effort and stuff into like this one song, because I hadn't released anything, and I'd built this world of pressure and put it on myself. And then at the final stages, I was just like, like there were days I couldn't get out of bed. I was just like in bed all day. Just can't get out. And it was just, this headspace that I'd created for myself, which, I just brought it upon myself, you know what I mean?
Has that gotten easier with every release, or are you getting better at dealing with that sort of anxiety and things?
Well, no, it's not really a thing now. Like, it wasn't after the song came out. I was just so like, I don't know, I felt like this weight off my shoulders. Like, when you work towards one thing for a long time, it's like, it's a relief when you finish it. And I don't know what that's about, that feeling, but I definitely don't feel that way anymore. And now it's just my goal, I guess, is to finish songs, and it's more fun, and there's less pressure, and the songs are getting better for it as well. I feel, I really enjoy the process more, and it's fun, and I just want to put singles out and tracks and make stuff that I like.
Do you have other bands that you'd like to make, or other projects you'd like to do, or this is...
This is awesome. Like, I love working with the guys that I'm working with and other people, and just, doing what feels fun and enjoying myself and trying to release as much as possible. But I feel like there isn't a rush anymore. Now I'm just in a bit of a routine, and it feels good.
Does it have a message? Are you trying to put something out there for the people?
I write from personal experiences, and a lot of people, I guess, have similar experiences, and it's nice to think and imagine that there were people that might hear the song or whatever and enjoy it for like a few minutes of the day and think, oh, that was a cool tune, or like anything that connects with anyone. Like, that is sort of the goal, I think, to make music that people can enjoy a little bit. It takes pressure off me. Like, it's a way of getting my not problems, but like my feelings out. It's like going to see a psychologist or something. You can vent. I just vent into the computer and turn it into a fun tune, and then I can listen back to it. It's like I said, I do it for myself at this point, and it's fun. And if I can start doing it for other people, if people start listening to it once I have an audience, I think that will open up a whole nother world of satisfaction and validation. Like,
if it wasn't this, what would you do if you weren't doing music? Do you have another passions or something else? Say it all goes tits up tomorrow, and what do you do?
Yeah, well, I was thinking of getting some part-time work anyway, really, while I was here. I think I'd be...
Flipping burgers?
Flipping burgers. Nah, I reckon, like, it'd be really probably fun to do a role, not a producer, but sort of do kind of what Jack and Chris do for me, in the sense that it would be cool to oversee someone else's project and give advice and sort of help shape a sound and help shape a song, you know?
Yeah, you've always been a good networker, George, when you were in LA. No, that's I don't like that term networking, because it makes it sound like people are just meeting people for their own. But you've always been very personable, and I think over the years you've met a lot of people, but not in a bullshit way, in a way that you've actually become friends with them.
Sure, like, yeah, I mean, that's one of the best parts of music, I feel like. But for me anyway, I get the most pleasure out of meeting new people and collaborating with people, and, like, I don't know, writing songs for different people, and then being able to do my own stuff on as well is great, because that's a way to, like, vent and be satisfied with myself, because I can put my music out and I do it how I want to do it and it sounds nice. But yeah, the music, if I wasn't collaborating, like in general, like if I wasn't doing, I don't know, touring with like other bands and meeting new bands and hearing new music. That's the beauty of festivals, you know, you're exposed to all this new music, and it's...
Have you done much touring?
Well, I mean, I've
just
toured with you guys a bunch, but
Yeah.
only as the guest vocalist. So I've done, I mean, I started touring with this band when I was 21, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We did like a couple of Australia tours, and I remember we went away for a month, and that, like...
Which band was that? That's Dash and Will, yeah.
And it was like really exciting, and it was, you know, I was young, and I just thought it was the most exciting way to see different places.
It is a very good way to see different places.
And yeah, but I mean, I'm more recently doing Coachella with Miami Horror, just being at the festival and seeing, there's like 100 bands playing, you know, so you can...
It was crazy.
Everywhere you go, you just hear this news, you know, whatever you want to hear. If you don't like it, you keep walking. And yeah, I just, like, that is appealing to me. And I grew up in Switzerland, and you know, the idea of going back to Europe and seeing other parts of Europe that I'd never been to with music, like, what an opportunity that would be. So
yeah, for sure,
the idea of traveling is really appealing.
You're just heading to the east coast of the States in a few days, or in a week or so?
Yeah, so that's going to be really
playing
fun.
Cleopold shows?
Yep, it's going to be cool. We've been rehearsing, it's sounding pretty good. And then I'm going to stay in LA for a couple of weeks and write with this guy, a couple of guys, Cassian's over there. Mm-hmm. That dude, No Such Thing, that I was talking about, who I met at Coachella. We're gonna jam. Like, we've started working on a couple of tracks. I'm excited to do some more stuff with guys like him in the future.
Yeah,
you know, and also working on a new EP with Jack and Chris, and that's coming together. It's exciting.
You got any hobbies outside of music?
Hobbies.
What do you do to take your mind off it, George?
Go for walks. Yeah, that's about it. No, Are
you just fully consumed by music all of the time?
It's pretty... I think about it every now and then, how kind of messed up it is that I can be so in my own head and in my own world, and how selfish it is to just be focused on myself all the time doing my music, which at the end of the day, like I said before, it seems like such a trivial, like... it's just a small part of anyone, like, you know, people just, if anyone hears the song or whatever it is you're working on, or you're painting, or whatever it is, your creativity that you're expressing yourself with, like, it's just, it goes in one ear and out the other, you know, like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah,
I think we just need these things, though. You need your own purpose to be on the planet or whatever. And even if it is selfish with music, at least it keeps you motivated or keeps you going. If you weren't doing that, it's like better to create something and try and make something beautiful or something that can add to a person's day or bring some positive sort of joyous thing into the world. So you can look at it as selfish, but maybe it's, I don't know. But there definitely is a balance with this being of a musician, because it is all it's your own songs and your own lyrics and this expression that you have to get out of yourself. So it is quite all-consuming a lot of the time. Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just, I think the more I do it, and it's starting to, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm being a better person because I'm happy.
Well, there you go. That's a good reward to get from the hard work.
Yeah. So, but it's cool, and I just want to make more.
It's all early days, isn't it? It's kind of just the beginning for Cleopold.
Yeah.
It's been coming for a long time, but it's funny, you spend all those years getting it ready, and now it's sort of right at the start. It's going good. It's good to
going
see.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it is funny to think about how long I've been playing music for and how little I've achieved in that 10-year bracket, But
it is all just getting the sound
exactly.
and getting ready and finding what it is you want to do, And I think we've all been like that over the last.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just happy that I'm doing it now, and I wasn't doing it 3-4 years ago, because I feel confident in myself and mature in the sense that my music, I'm happy with it and I'm okay with it being heard.
For sure. Hey, thanks for having a chat, G-Man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
All the best for the tour, for the EP. I'm excited for you.
Oh, I'm excited too. I'd love to see you at some of the shows.
I'll be there. Yeah, we're always hanging out, mate.
Cool. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cleopold. Thanks, Cleopold. It was nice to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time out. His new EP, or debut EP, should I say, Altitude and Oxygen, is out now. It's got some great tunes on it. Been working very, very hard on it. I think he's going to do big, good, wonderful things, our close friend Geordie. So yeah, make sure you get onto it now before he goes too big and you have to start hating him because people that you don't like think he's popular and he's no longer underground and cool. Alright, thank you for tuning into the bottom of it. There's going to be more episodes coming soon, more interesting peeps, all of that shit. Cool, take it easy.